And there it is, the final whistle, and they're out. It's all over. Oh, it's a sad moment, this. Who would want to be a football manager?
Managers can only watch and wait and hope. Come on, Giggsy!
Stevie, go and get the ball!
This is almost fantasy football. Let's look at the next thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome John, Paul, George, and Ginger.
No! Well, I'm all John Jensen now. He's got a pub and a trash
Like Bobby Ball.
and there's a terrible story now. Not Peter Story. That I took off the cash
And I took some hash, and at least these things
money and drugs.
have got a certain class.
They sound pretty cool, but I went to Butlins
In
Bognor
Bognor
Regis. You
Regis.
got hit with a glass
And you can't pass.
Thank you very much indeed. Oh, my hair's gone all flat now.
Oh, and I've got white stuff in my ear, just like last
Yeah.
night. Hey!
Oh, hey, look, here. Quick impression, David O'Leary. Anyway, oh, that's horrible, isn't it?
Hello, and welcome to the first in a new series of Fantasy Football League.
We've got a whole new batch of brand new Fantasy League managers. We'll be meeting 2 of them later on.
And following a brilliant run of results last season, Phoenix from the Flames goes into Europe. We'll be recreating one of England's greatest moments from Italia 90.
And we'll be saying a big hello to Peter Shilton.
Oh,
Poor old Peter.
but first, a few things we noticed from watching football this week. Now, there's been some interesting reactions to the news that the FA have employed specialist lip readers to help them with their inquiries.
Still on the Arsenal theme, grinding them into the dirt, Paul Merson had to wear a pair of glasses to go to the Man City game so that he wouldn't get recognised. But unfortunately, his recent habits have left a few telltale signs.
Moving on away from Arsenal, and QPR's new manager, Butch Wilkins, showed why he prefers to be called Ray nowadays.
I think he looks lovely.
Yeah, he looks very nice, actually.
And a terrible moment at Anfield this week when Razor Ruddock accidentally caught sight of Stato's knob. Those pyjama bottoms, they fall open so easily, don't
That's
they?
true. God. If anyone tunes in there, do you think they'll think, I wonder what that joke with the Arsenal shirt was about? And Graham Taylor has made an official complaint to Dutch side Feyenoord after the arrival of his new signing, John de Wolf.
Now, hold on a minute, that was a Barcelona strip, wasn't it?
Yeah, apparently, well, de Wolf was at Barcelona for a bit, but he didn't get on very well with the other players. He was a bit of an isolated figure, you know. They used to call him Bark-alona.
Well, I think that's it. That joke has proved it. I'm afraid I have to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that I believe that for some time, my former friend and colleague, Frank Skinner, has been receiving illegal payments in order to throw this programme.
Hey? What? I don't have to listen to this. I tell you. You'll be telling me in a minute that I threw the Royal Variety performance.
You're not going anywhere. I've got evidence that you have been having secret meetings with someone who's got a very clear motive for wanting this programme to fail.
Hey, all right there, Frank? Hey, sound, mate, sound all right. Now, don't forget, Barcelona. Now, do that, and they'll be switching straight over to me and Danny Bear.
Right, Diane Giggs has been crap since he's been going out with her.
Yeah, I know, but she's seeing someone else now.
Really? It's not Ipswich Town, is it? Look.
What have you got to say for yourself?
This is ridiculous. The performance of one man can't affect the result of an entire programme, can it?
Have you listened to 606 recently? Stato.
Well, now it's time for my news round. It sounds impossible, but there's been even more managerial changes than the Premier League. From film Sean Bean and Patsy Kensit, comedians Jimmy Tarbuck, Nick Hancock and Joe Brand, TV stars Russell Grant and Paula Yates, Elvis Costello and Nick Hornby, Supercook Delia Smith, Alan Hansen, Channel 4 Supremo Michael Grade, and finally Parker from Thunderbirds. First out the block, as indeed he was last year, is Frank Skinner. A good start too for Patsy Kensit and Parker. A lack of goals cost Frank last season, but with star signing Jurgen Klinsmann firing the bullets, could this be his year? Any team containing Alan Shearer and Matt Letizia must be in the hunt. Both struck gold in the same match on Saturday to give Patsy a flyer. With Forest Stan Collymore pulling the strings this season, Parker continues the tradition of puppets performing well in the Fantasy League. Mixed fare for this week's guest. Nick Hancock's two Leeds defenders concede 2 goals against West Ham's Jerome Boer. But 5th place for Alan Hansen, thanks in part to David James' clean sheet against Palace. Finally, a bad week for Arsenal and a bad week for Nick Hornby, while Joe Brand's boys failed to trouble my computer.
Well done, Stato. You alright? How have you been over the summer?
Thanks. Yeah, very good. World Cup was great, of course.
Yeah.
Topical as ever.
Now, just before the guest managers arrive, we do have a confession to make. You know how this programme is basically about us watching football and trying to make jokes about it? Well, we nicked that idea from a great forgotten genius, a man who in the 1930s was regarded as possibly the funniest man on earth.
We speak, of course, of Tom Webster, a man who's finally crafted football one-liners, or remarks, as Tom liked to call them, had football fans in stitches from Land's End to John O'Groats.
This is Tom Webster at Wembley, almost talking. Portsmouth in white shirts are coming out now. Manchester City are really astonished why Portsmouth ever came out. This is a bird's eye view of the play. They were the only birds who got in for nothing.
Anyway, we'll be going back to the 1934 Cup final, and we'll be going back to the 1934 Cup final next week for some more of Tom Webster's marvellous remarks.
Good Lord, it's Alan Hansen and Nick Hancock.
Oh my God! Oh, what a joy. So they're our first managers to visit this series, and hey, we couldn't have asked for better, could we?
I'm sorry, there must be hundreds of thousands of people going, that's not Patsy Kensit.
So, Alan, before we begin, I should say that there's a little score to settle between you and Frank. I think he owes you some money.
Yeah, that's right. It was in the World Cup, and
Bring that up, Dave.
when we got to the last 16, Frank did say that it was the most open World Cup for the last 20 years. So I said, well, I think only 4 teams can win it. He said, well, you take 4, I'll have the other 12. So I deliberated for a long time, about 2 seconds, and I said, Brazil, Italy, West Germany and Argentina.
Well, you were sticking your neck out there.
Took a bit of a chance. Took a bit of a chance.
But on the other hand, Peter Shilton put 40 grand on Frank's choice, didn't he?
Anyway,
so if you'd like to stump up.
I would stump up, but have I got the money?
Yeah, here. Oh, it's down the back of the sofa.
Oh my God! Have I not got me 50 quid?
Oh, well, despite the fact that I'm dressed as George Graham, I can't give you any money, which is. It's quite remarkable.
What gets me is I wasted 15 quid buying icing sugar on the way here. Well, can I give you 35 now and give you the rest after?
I want 50 quid, Frank.
Oh, don't be difficult, please.
Has anyone got any money in the audience?
Can I lend 15 quid? Oh, come on, Alan. I'll give it you after. It was well earned, and you did a great job.
I won't forget.
No.
So, were you upset when Bob Wilson went to ITV? How did you take that?
How are you going to take that?
Yeah. Were you up at night worrying, and were you frantic?
I didn't lose much sleep, but...
Well, we did.
Yeah, we were worried.
Is that what I want to know? Is it true they got him in part exchange with This Is Your Life? Because have you noticed This Is Your Life's gone to the BBC at the same time?
Hey!
Don't you feel ITV got quite a good deal?
Yeah.
I heard that Bob Wilson was a bit undecided about the move to ITV, and apparently he took some last-minute advice whilst jogging with Ozzy Ardiles.
Office, Japan, Kanagawa, Japan.
Yeah?
My work is Odaku Lines Railways
Do you find that more people recognise you now than when you was a footballer?
Yeah, definitely.
Do
I was very low-key at Liverpool. Although...
Were you?
Yeah, I was very low-key.
I suppose only winning 2 or 3 trophies a season is a...
I'm going to say,
That's right.
when you were at Liverpool, you spent like 8 years just wearing a red shirt, and for the last 6 years, you've just worn that jacket.
We heard that after you left Liverpool, because you're so tall, they actually lowered the entrance to the tunnel by about 6 inches, and that was a terrible mistake, apparently. Actually, Nick, you did once do something very, very sad, which is you offered to pay me £1 for every time.
Don't tell this
No, I'm
story.
going to tell it. For every time that I would say that you were the best footballer I'd ever played with. It's true that. Obviously, I haven't played with many people.
Yeah.
But it's true, because we have played in the same team.
Yes, we have played in the same team.
But who would be the best player among you three?
Stato, I think.
Amongst us three,
Yeah, you
Stato.
three. Yeah, Stato, yeah.
You would be,
the big
actually.
three.
I think
Would you be better than
you
these
would
two?
be.
I don't know, I've only ever played with David.
And?
Right, just let's see how good Frank is, I don't know.
Now, I am shit.
As good as that. As good as that. That's honesty.
Looks like Frank's the best then.
Yeah. In fact, I was all right till I put this shirt on, and everything's gone wrong. Now, I was the one at school who just tried to stop the good players from playing because I was so terrible. It's a great source of heartbreak to me. And what gets me is that I know, Alan, that you were brilliant at about 10 different sports, and I was no sports at all that I'm good at, and that seems terribly unfair to me.
I wouldn't go as far as to say brilliant. I was adequate at about 3 or 4 sports.
Didn't you represent Scotland at about 5?
Well, you could have.
No.
You could have represented Scotland.
Schoolboy level.
It's a myth.
Is it really a myth?
Yeah.
A favourite quiz question of mine is a myth.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's volleyball's one
I
of
played
them.
volleyball and squash and golf and football.
And now, just before we go on to look at your teams in some detail, it's time for our new regular feature.
Satan, briefly talk about the XD League as if it's important. Briefly talk about the XD League
So, Saint, it's been an incredible week as far as football's concerned.
I'll say, Jimmy, I mean, that story about David Kelly of Championship contenders Wolves being suspended. As you may know, he'll now miss games against the big 3, Reading, Oldham, and, of course, the mighty Charlton.
No, Saint, I was actually talking about off-the-field events.
Oh, hey, that's an incredible story.
I mean, Stuart Webb getting on the board at Derby 3 years after leaving the club.
I shudder to think what the tabloids will make of that one, huh?
Why haven't we got Premier League football, Saint? When's it coming back?
So let's get on, Alan, let's have a look at your team. I noticed that all your points have come from defenders so far. That's nothing to do with the way you play.
Be solid at the back and you've got a chance.
Right.
I feel I've heard you say that somewhere before.
Yeah, somewhere before, yeah.
But it's
unbelievable.
As it's always been, isn't it, Alan? Yeah.
That's how you win things. They know that at Stoke, don't they?
The way to win things at Stoke is enter competitions like the Auto Glass Trophy or the Anglo-Italian Cup.
Did they win the Anglo-Italian?
We're in the semis. Big game. Notts County. 2 legs.
Big game.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it great? You go in the Anglo-Italian Cup and play Notts County.
Yeah.
Something wrong there. Do you go on a ferry to Nottingham just to make it...
The game's played in Bologna.
And you had to have no more than 3 English players in both sides.
Right, yeah.
Now, can we see Nick's team? See what they're doing. Terry Conroy's legs, as they're known.
I'm sticking my guns. I've got no Arsenal players and no Manchester United players.
Yeah, well, on principle, is that?
Yeah, so I feel I have a pure side.
You've got Hottage at left back there, he plays right back.
Well, I didn't put him there.
No?
Oh,
well, who put him there?
I don't know, whoever's made up that little sort of graphic
Caption,
thing,
yeah.
Where does Gary Kelly play?
He plays right back as well.
Yeah,
you're a bit lopsided.
I've got quite a lot of advice from Graham Taylor.
But it's all right to have 2 right backs. I should explain, Alan, that these players don't actually play each other. It's a sort of a...
Nobody told me that.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. We thought we'd get you in on our side first and break it to you gently, because we wouldn't like you to think you were playing a game that you couldn't have represented Scotland at some stage.
I don't know if you remember, we gave an award during the World Cup show to Ahmed Madani of Saudi Arabia for the lowest header of all time. I think we're going to have another look at it now.
Here it comes.
See it. Ahmed, who doesn't really understand the concept of a cross exactly. But there was much rejoicing in Leeds earlier this season when Gary Kelly took almost 4 inches off that record. He really went for it, didn't he?
Isn't that the case when he thought, I'm going to head this, no matter what happens?
Perhaps he was confused about whether he was a right back or a left back. He just fell over.
What's the lowest header you've ever done?
I never used to head the ball.
Oh, of course.
Somebody once said that every time you head it, you lose 150 brain cells. So on a Sunday morning, you probably headed it quite a bit.
That deserves a hearty laugh. Not it's a very good joke.
Always got a sharp tongue.
Yes.
It's coming near the end of the programme. That's.
Apparently,
oh no, it goes on for hours.
Is it? Is it? Oh, no. I get a bit braver.
We heard that you represented Scotland at Satire when you were at school. Now you've got Razor Ruddock at the back.
Yeah.
You have? Why?
Yeah, that just felt like you really wanted to come back to that subject.
Well, no, I do want to come back to it.
Yeah, go on.
Can I ask you, Alan, as a Liverpool defender of old, and we have to say, regarded as one of the best Liverpool defenders of all time, how would you rate Razor Ruddock?
I think he does well for Liverpool. Apparently he's very, very good in the dressing room, team spirit-wise.
I think that's
team spirit-wise.
Now you see, I'd be good at that.
Team spirit-wise.
I think I'd be all right in the dressing room. It's when you get out on that pitch.
It's all part of the game.
It
team
is.
spirit.
Exactly.
People
See, I
good
always
for
feel
team
like saying to
spirit.
West
You'd be
Brom.
great for team spirit, Frank.
Thanks, Alan.
Well, yeah, I did see you playing Wimbledon Common at football.
Oh, that's true. I've got a photo of me actually rounding you on Wimbledon Common. I mean, I'm in a Hillman imp, but even so.
I haven't heard that before in football terms. Rounding you.
Rounding. It's the accent problem.
Rounding.
If I say exactly look rounding you, does that help?
What exactly does it mean, rounding?
It means going round
you.
you.
Oh, going round, yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you want to use that on Match of the Day.
Rounding. I'll have to remember that Saturday night.
Yeah, okay. See if you can slip in rounding.
Rounding.
I'll tell you what, if you can say rounding on Match of the Day Saturday night, I'll give you another 50 quid.
How do you mean another 50 quid?
Exactly. I mean, I'll give you 65 quid.
Yeah. Rounding. I don't think I can get that one in, really. Rounding.
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 Yeah. You'll do it. I'll trust you on that one.
And here we see Letizia rounding. No.
One thing about Roderick, he's picked up some really strange habits since he's been at Liverpool. In fact, we had a dog that used to do this. Anyway, look, if we could just get serious for 1 second. I mean, Alan, what do you think about the Grobbelaar thing? Do you think there's any question that he might have possibly taken the money and done the deed?
No.
Why?
Because I played in front of him for 10 years and nobody was more committed to winning trophies and games for Liverpool than Bruce Grobbelaar.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I agree with you on that, and I think that shot of him in the room on that secret video, you can take the most innocent things, show them on one of those secret videos, and they look incredibly dodgy, I think. I mean, you have a look at this. Just watch this.
The only problem with that is that I'm not playing football anymore. So
no, but we could be paying you to throw a match of the day.
Throw a match of the day, yeah. And how would I do that?
Say rounded a lot.
Say rounding, yeah, rounding.
You could suddenly, you could suddenly chin Ray Stubbs halfway through or something. That's 35 quid, it's worth it. Anyway, look, now it's the first ever in our new series of European Phoenix from the Flames. This week, England versus Belgium in Italy.
David, we're so pleased you agreed to do this. It's a wonderful football moment, one that I'm sure everybody remembers and cherishes.
Well, except Man City fans, obviously.
Sorry? Man City?
You know, because you're so chuffed about relegating them.
And that's it! David put it on the pitch!
So, if you wouldn't mind just slipping the suit on.
I'm not David, please. I'm David Platt. I thought I was going to do my Belgium goal.
That explains why we've come all the way to Italy.
Yeah, and also, my wife lives around here.
Do you know her?
I should do. I've been married to her for 15 years.
Excuse me a moment, David.
You know, we came here under strict conditions. You wouldn't do the Genoa joke, and now you've tricked David into it. It's actually in my contract you don't do that joke. Do something strange. I don't know if I fancy a tic-tac.
Yeah, haven't they?
David, what do you remember about that game?
Well, we had a bit of a fright at first because Bobby Robson got stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
But luckily we had a waxwork dummy of him and we stuck him on the bench.
We got them in the end.
Yeah.
Were you fairly confident of beating Belgium?
Well, yeah, but you have to remember that this was Italia 90. And the Italian media didn't think much of England.
What, because you hadn't played very well early on?
No, because they thought the manager was the presenter of Call My Bluff. So it's 0-0 in the last minute of extra time, and if we win, we're in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Gaz has picked the ball up on the edge of our box, ran towards their goal and got brought down, so it's our free kick. It's going to be our last chance to get something, otherwise it's going to have to go to penalties.
Hold on, we've slipped up here, haven't we? We're in Italy, doing something about Italian 90, but there's no Italian flavour to it at all.
What the Italian papers said about the David Platt Phoenix so far. The Corriere della Sera leads with Frank Skinner in Genoa joke scandal. The deal to resign. The Stamper goes with Tic Tac sales plummet. Someone else's feet, rumour. La Gazzetta dello Sport goes with David Platt to stay at Luton. Clearly some confusion there. And lastly, Il Giornale goes with England manager says that samovar is a type of Russian tea urn. Well, we'll have to stop it there because clearly this is the point at which everyone switches over to watch the Ensley League game.
So, anyway, we're looking forward to this afternoon's game. Live and exclusive on ITV, Grimsby versus Southend. Another chance to examine the silky skills of Ricky Otto.
Yes, say Ricky Otto, known by many as the Signore of the southeast coast.
Don't mention Italian football, we don't have that either.
What? Not even Serie B?
Just leave it, will you?
OK, OK, that'll do. Look, I'll be Gazza, you be Prudhomme, the Belgian goalie, and you be David Platt.
OK. Play John Motson.
It's Gascoigne shaping to take it. And chipped in. And volleyed in! And it's there by David Platt! David Platt of Aston Villa turned, volleyed, and what a good finish! England have done it! In the last minute of extra time! England are through to the quarter-finals of the World
Oh dear.
Hey, it was a great chip, by the way.
Oh, thanks very much.
How many times did it take you to...
That was actually first try.
It was first try.
Right in there.
But didn't you actually put your foot under the ball and lift it?
Well,
yeah, but
because you can't do that with a free kick, can
if
you?
Gazza had taken that free kick off crazy paving, he might have...
Fair
It would
enough.
have taken him 10 goes, where you did it in 1.
That's about all we've got time for, I think. Thanks to Alan and Nick, thank you very much.
Next week's guests are Delia Smith and Jimmy Tarbuck.
Oh, for heaven's
Now,
sake.
who would come a-calling this time of the night?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Astle.
Her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free. Oh, but love goes where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. Tito's kind of lazy, people say she's crazy, and their life's a mystery. Oh, but love grows where my rosemary grows, and nobody knows like me. There's something about a hand holding mine, it's a feeling that's fine, and I've just got to say, she's really got a magical spell, and it's working so well, but I can't get away. I'm a lucky fella, and I just gotta tell her that I love her endlessly. Because love goes where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me.
If you want to write to us, or if you want information about playing Fantasy League, our address is...